Imagine that you've walked into the writer's room of the first season of Saturday Night Live. In one corner is John Belushi, who the night before had left an unattended joint smoldering on the table at a castmate's house and had set his room on fire. In the other corner, there's a writer who right now is up to his gills in a different recreational drug and is bouncing off the walls. And in between are people who will become some of the most famous comedy writers in history, but who right now appear to hate each other. Everyone in that room is competing to get their skits selected to be put on the air that week. This is a recipe, you might think, for disaster. And yet what we all know is that Saturday Night Live wasn't a disaster. It was amazing. In fact, it's been amazing for 40 years. So how? Why did that team come together? To examine it, I not only looked at Saturday Night Live, but I also went to Google. I learned that for the last 4 years, at a cost of millions of dollars, that giant technology company had been studying how to build the perfect team. The best teams, Google found, are the ones where people can bring their full selves to work, where they can say things that are important to them in a meeting and there's not going to be any negative consequences. In addition, you have to have ostentatious listening behaviors, showing that everyone is listening to each other by picking up on nonverbal cues or drawing people into the conversation. When these two things come together, they create psychological safety. And that, Google found, is what makes a team suddenly become this amazing group that gets things done that no individual could accomplish. Which brings us back to Saturday Night Live. Why did that show come together? Why did that team gel? The magic was Lorne Michaels, the executive producer and creator of Saturday Night Live. When you sit down at a meeting with Lorne Michaels, Lorne won't let anyone get up from the table until everyone has spoken. He goes out of his way to demonstrate that every single person in that room has to be involved in the conversation, and that when you say something, he and everyone else are listening as closely as they can. That's why Saturday Night Live works. Not because you have a bunch of people who like each other, not because you take the tension out of the room. The way that you make them into a team, by creating psychological safety. And when you do that, you can not only make one of the longest running, most successful television shows in history, you can build a company like Google, you can do anything.